everyone, and welcome back to yet another Yap episode. Today is a Q&A slash get to know me sort of video because I wanted to do something that you guys have been requesting for a little bit in order to celebrate my 500 step milestone. This is a really big milestone and I'm so beyond excited. So let's get straight into answering some of these questions. I picked out a few and I've actually already recorded this video a few times, and both times the video was way too long. So we're gonna try and get through these questions pretty quickly while obviously still answering them well and like in depth, I guess. I will most likely not answer all of these, but I'm going to try and do as many as humanly possible. So let's get straight into it. I'm training at the Baroness racetrack today, which I feel like I never start training here, but
whatever.
I'm training this horse because I felt like I wanted to have a horse that was like special to me for my 500 sub milestone, and this was the first horse I ever bought in SSO, so I thought it'd be cute to ride this one. But anyways, we gotta start getting into these questions. Enough of the story time. The first submission is by Haley Nothpath, and this is actually a submission from a little bit ago. She actually has two questions, or they actually asked two questions. The first one being, what are some of your hobbies? I'm going to answer this in both ways, whether it be SSO and IRL. IRL, I really like animal volunteering, like just anything that's to do with animals. I used to, a few years ago, volunteer at this place that had cats and dogs. I've also volunteered at a lot of different places, and currently I volunteer the most and the most frequently and consistently at a local horse rescue that I'm actually planning to adopt a horse from, so that's really fun. She's currently at training. But other than volunteering, I really like reading. I love writing more than like anything. I've actually started to write a few books of my own. I don't know if I'll ever really think about publishing them. And I also really like playing video games and just kind of staying inside as well. I don't always need to go out. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to some rides, but I do really like going to theme parks as well. And then for SSO, I really like training as I am now. It's just very relaxing and a really good way to debrief after a long day. I also like doing like Trailblazer tracks and questing and stuff like that. My cats are playing and they're making so much noise. They always wait until I'm about to record. Okay. The second question this person asked was, if you could bring any magical horse back, which one and why? I don't know if this counts. It's the same breed and the same magical horse, but it's in different coats. But recently the Winfells, or 3 of the Winfells and the Nixies came back, and I didn't get the chance to buy the other 4 Winfells that are officially retired already. So I wish those 4 would come back. That way I could buy those as well, because now I only have the 3 that came back, that kind of like revived from retirement. That's the only really way I can say it. But yeah, that would definitely be the magical horse that I want to come out, even though I guess it's not one singular one. There's a lot of really cute ones. I do really like the confetti one, the one with the hot pink hair, and I feel like the Greendale one's also pretty iconic. We should go to Starshine because that gets a lot of XP. But anyways, thank you so much, Haley Nothpath, for this submission. I know that you wrote this so long ago, so hopefully she still sees this video. The next one is actually a list, which I'm going to try and get through as quickly as possible because my best friend actually wrote this, and she told me that she was going to give me a few questions, but by a few, I didn't mean she meant an 11 question list. The first thing on here is least favorite and favorite coat in SSO. I don't really think that I have a least favorite coat in SSO. I used to really hate the Bay Road Welshie, but I actually want it now, so I don't think I really have one. And then favorite coat would definitely have to be the Fleabitten Selly. I really like the Carmelo Dutch Warmblood coat as well, as that's literally my favorite horse in the game. But coat wise specifically, I really like the Fleabitten Sellys. The second thing on here is least favorite and favorite breed. The Dutch Warmbloods are easily my favorite breed. I love them so much. I feel like they're so realistic. And my least favorite breed definitely has to be the Finn horses. I know that's a pretty controversial take considering you either love them or you hate them. The third question on here is my subscriber goal. This was a poll from when I had hit 100 subscribers. So from that time, I'd probably say 500 subscribers. But from now, I'd probably say 1,000 just because we're already at 600, which is so crazy. The fourth one is, what are your IRL animals? So my sister has 5 cats and she does live with me, my older sister, but me and my mom, we do have 2 dogs, one being hers and one being mine. Mine is named Bella, she's a girl, and the other one is named Benji, he's a boy. I know those are really basic names, don't judge. 5 is my favorite club memories. I'd say that there was this one club member actually that I really grew, it sounds like kind of weird, but like attached to in a way. They were just a really nice club member, and I actually had to beg my best friend to let her into the club because she didn't have as many of the requirements as needed, so she wasn't really the most eligible candidate for a member in our club, but she ended up being a really sweet member, and yeah, I really liked having her in the club. So I guess the first day that we added her would be a good memory. 6 on here is favorite place to train in SSO. I would have to say Redwood. It's so funny because like I would never go or really think about Redwood as just a place on its own, but the Ranger Wilderness race there is so fun, and the mounted orientation there is probably my favorite out of all the orientations in my opinion. So that's why I'd probably have to say that one, or that place I guess you should say. The 7th thing on here is favorite memory me and you have, IRL or SSO. So this again was written by my best friend, which is why she said this. Obviously if somebody commented this I'd be like what? So I would probably say my favorite memory of us in SSO would have to be that time that we made like a secret spy club. We would ride around in all black on black ponies. It had to be a pony, and we'd like pretend to do spy missions. I don't know why. This is just a really weird thing that we did, but we'd meet up at Spy Master's hideout. But yeah, kind of weird. And then IRL, she's probably the only one that's gonna get this reference, but there's a swarm of bees. Story time, I will give you guys, if 5 people comment a bee emoji, I'll give you guys a story time and maybe my next video. And some training time I will. 8th is the most embarrassing moment, SSO and IRL. IRL had to be this one time that my mom dressed me up for the Trolls movie. It was like the movie premiere or something like that, and she dressed me up as a troll, but she put a cup in my hair, like a plastic cup, and wrapped my hair around it to kind of make my hair stand up in a way. That way I would look like the Trolls did. It was like a trending Facebook thing apparently. When I went to the movie theaters, nobody else had it on, and I was mortified. In SSO, I honestly don't really think that I've ever had an embarrassing moment in SSO. I've had like obviously like weird experiences, annoying ones, but never really anything super embarrassing on my part. So I guess nothing really. 9 is my biggest fear that I have. I'd say living like a really like bad death. So like being in like a fire or like drowning has always been like, I've always wished to like, you know, kind of drift off in my sleep, which is pretty like, I don't know, that's not the highest chance that you get, but whatever. Suffering like a really bad death has always been like my really big fear. But my second would definitely have to be cockroaches. I absolutely hate roaches. The 10th thing on here is my favorite event in SSO. This is easy. The Christmas event has to be my absolute favorite event like ever. I love the Christmas event so much. It's just such a like when the event gets here, I'm just like, yay, the Christmas event's here. It's such an amazing feeling. And lastly, we've got favorite SSO horse you own and least favorite SSO horse you own. I was trying to think of something, and there's literally no horse in my stable that I absolutely hate or would say is my least favorite. And a lot of people will make videos, and it's like horses I regret buying. And this is not supposed to be a flex whatsoever, because there's so many horses that I've never put out my stable, but I don't think I have a singular horse that I don't like. There used to be like a few, like I used to not like the Palomino Belgian Warmblood. I thought it was way too bright. I ended up buying it for some reason, and then I like hated it. But recently, like a week ago, I was training it and I was like, why is this horse so pretty? So I don't really think there's any horses in my stable that I completely regret buying or anything like that. My favorite horse is Faith. Anyways, thank you so much for this very long submission. Nice and generous. On to the next. The next submission is actually by, I don't know how to read this user if I'm being honest, Not Love L-E. I don't know. And they asked, what's your favorite SSO horse? My favorite SSO horse is the Carmelo de Shortblood. I love that horse with literally all my heart. Thank you so much for your submission. The next question is, what got you into SSO? And this was submitted by Rayleigh8008. My friend actually forced me to play SSO. I had made an account a really long time ago, probably when SSO was like old, like more like 2016, 17, but I couldn't figure out how to get into the game, or there was something wrong. I don't know. I think it's because you had to access it from the web browser at that time. You can't get it on the App Store, especially if you're on mobile, and I think I had like an iPad at the time. But in 2022, my friend invited me to SSO, and that's pretty much what got me into it. She just told me how to do all the little beginning quests. She helped me make my account in the first place. She convinced me to get Star Rider the day of when I downloaded it. That way I wouldn't have to worry about it. So props to Miss Kaylee Wolfspeed, because I wouldn't have a channel if it weren't for her making me an account. Fun fact about that, she actually tried to make my account name Nina Strawberry before I submitted it. Can't believe her. Honestly, I could believe that. Never mind. The next question was submitted by the Tortured Fans Department, which is a little bit concerning of a username, and they said, are you still in school? Yes, I am still in school. A little way to go. I want school to be over. But anyways, thank you so much for your submission. This is a really good question. Okay, so the next, and these are going to be the final questions, just so that this video isn't 10,000 years long. And I might do a part 2 later, but I've got to get this video out pretty soon, so this is not going to be a super lengthy training time. But we've got 2 more questions, one of them being written by Caitlin Bunnyfly asking, what made you want to start making SSO YouTube videos? And she also said, I love your channel, so thank you so much. I love you for watching my channel. That was really corny. I personally have just always wanted to be a YouTuber in general. I used to always watch like IRL riding channels even before I knew how to ride or got into riding lessons when I was really little. And I also watched those like toy reviews. So whenever I was really little and would get like new horse toys, I'd always pretend to make like little toy movies and little like stuff like that. So I've just always kind of wanted to pursue content creation from when I didn't even know what it really meant. And so once I downloaded SSO and I found a bunch of really nice SSO YouTubers that I love to watch, I realized that it wasn't absolutely impossible. It definitely took a few months to get started, but it wasn't impossible for me to have my own channel. So I ended up pursuing it, and that was a really good decision that I've made, because now I've got a community of 600 subscribers, which is so crazy. Thank you so much for your submission. Of course. I gotta give those thank yous out. No, but really, I do appreciate every single one of these submissions. And the last one we're gonna be reading for today is I'm Not Okay 2216, which is kind of depressing. What are up with these usernames? This person said, what horses do you want to see in SSO, and what do you think is overdone / overrated? Ooh, this is actually a really good question. Okay, so I need to answer this question, and these are redoable races, so I think I'm just gonna redo the highest XP giving one, and then we'll go ahead and end the video off. Okay, so the second question is kind of hard to understand for me. I don't really know what they're trying to say. If I had to say something was overrated, I'd say like the Finn horses, but to be honest, they're not really overrated just because a lot of people share the same opinion as me, and a lot of people don't really like them that much. So I don't know if I'd say those are overrated. Overdone? I don't know. The first question they asked though is obviously obviously pretty easy to ask, and they asked, what horses do you want to see in SSO? I would definitely say the Frisian Sport horses, but unfortunately apparently they're actually already in the game. SSO, when they released the new white Jorvik region, they actually put it as Frisian Sport horse, and I thought that was a mistake and they were going to be releasing them soon, but all that was literally them just recoloring it, because that's what they did for the old models. They took all the black Frisian models and then added wanted coats to them and called them Frisian Sport horses, which is kind of annoying. But I guess like crossbreeding the horses ends you up with like really pretty coats, I guess. I don't know. Even though it doesn't really make sense, because the new Frisians had a bunch of new coats that weren't black like the old Gen 2s, but apparently those are already a thing. Anyways, that is the end of today's training time. I really liked answering submissions while training. I definitely want to do this way more often. Oh my gosh, and for those of you who don't know what horse I'm talking about, this is the Cremello de Warmblood. She's going on a little hack right now. Anyways, guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!